Good day. We're here on the fourth video segment of Excel Lesson 12 for MITA-B. We're going to start today with adding additional data series. So we're going to take this 12 fourth coffee and we are going to make a copy of the worksheet, and then I'm going to show you how you can have the data here and how as you are entering the data, it should update in your actual chart. So they want us to select A2 to F7, and that's what we have selected. And but first we have to go in and we have to make a copy of the sales worksheet. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to move or copy. They want to make a copy. They want this copy to be at the end. We could also go through the home tab in format as well. So I'll press OK. Now I have sales version 2, and I'm going to change this down here to sales E, capital E, lowercase xp. I'm going to press enter to accept that name. Now, on my sales expense or EXP worksheet, I'm going to have A2 to F7 selected, and I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to go to the charts group, and I'm going to drop down the column and bar chart. I'm just going to do a simple 2D column. I'm going to slide this over here. So as you see me adding things over here in the data, you will watch it change over here. So we need to insert 2 new rows. One is going to be below coffee and espresso, and the other one is going to be below packaged and coffee tea. So that means you select the row below where you want it to go. I'm going to right click on this first one, and I'm going to go to insert. Now I have a row below coffee and espresso. The next one is supposed to be below coffee and packaged tea. So I'm going to select deli, the row below. I'm going to go to the home tab, sales group, insert, insert sheet row. Now I have a row below coffee, packaged coffee and tea. So now the next slide has us entering and changing a bunch of data. So we're going to start with changing this to coffee. And we're going to change dollar amounts also. And if you can watch right here, since as I am changing coffee, which is the blue, you'll see the name changed here in the legend, and it's going to start changing in these blue columns as I'm typing in the new numbers as well. And I am going to spell check here too, F7. And then I'm going to press tab and watch what happens. Okay. The new one doesn't enter into this yet. Okay. And so the data will update, but I'm not going to get the new column. But I'm going to show you in a second how we can easily make that all happen. And for bakery, all our numbers stay the same. We had to change coffee because we split coffee and espresso before, so that's why we saw the numbers change that last time. All right, so bakery is good. We have coffee accessories, and all these should remain the same because we didn't do anything to that category. And then we have packaged coffee, and we're going to lose the tea, so we're going to have to change these numbers as well. And you should see them changing over on the right-hand side in the chart because this was an existing series of data before. And then I'm going to come down here to row 8, and I'm going to give this new name. Again, you won't see it on the right-hand side yet until we go and fix it through the contextual tab. And then deli should remain the same because we didn't split those. So all this company was trying to do was split coffee and espresso into two and coffee and tea into two, the packaged ones. So now I'm going to check my row 10 because I have a total here and I know what the answer should be. It's always just a good way to double check ourselves, and it looks like it should be good. So I am all set updating my information. So now we are going to right click the blank area of the chart. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to right click, and it says select data. We could also do this through the design contextual tab, doesn't matter. And we see here that our dialog box to select data source appears, and you can see it kind of running back here with the marching ants on the marquee, what's selected and what's not. So we're going to add, we have two series we have to add. So I'm going to click add, and then it says that we need to give it a name. So we are going to click in A4 for our new series name. Remember, A3 changed itself down here because it already existed. Now where it says series value, it's always a good rule of thumb just to back out whatever is there. And then I'm going to select that B4 to F4 to represent that espresso and premium coffees. I'm going to press OK. And I see it instantly update over here in the background. And then they want us to move it up. So espresso and premium coffee, they want it to be in the same order as the actual data. So I'm going to press this up arrow over here. And I want it to be above bakery, below coffee. We're just trying to put these in order to match the actual data. So now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click add. But this time I need to do it for A8, our new packaged tea. So series name is the packaged tea. You could type a name in if you wanted to. I could type packaged tea in here to the series name, but you know by now that if I change something over here, it'll change over here because it's a cell reference. So just like it did with A3 with coffee, when it was coffee and espresso, it changed over here to coffee because it was referencing the cell, not the actual typed in content. So I'll back out the series value, and I am going to select B8 to F8, and it instantly adds. And I'm going to press OK, and then I'm going to check my order. Coffee, coffee, espresso, espresso, bakery, coffee, coffee accessories, packaged coffee, deli, and packaged tea. So I need to move packaged tea up one so it'll be in the correct order. And then I'm going to press OK, and I should see all my changes over here on the right-hand side. And that is how you go in and edit a chart if you add data. All right, the next thing is to resize a chart, guys. So we're going to stay here in Sales EXP, and it says on the Sales EXP sheet, move the mouse pointer to the white space to the left of the chart. The mouse is a black four-headed arrow, and we're going to use the move pointer, essentially, is what's happening with the four crosshair. And we're going to move it so it is below row 11. So I'm going to put it right here in 12. Then it says move the mouse to the lower right-hand corner of the chart. The mouse pointer changes to a two-headed diagonal arrow. Drag the mouse pointer so the lower right corner of the chart goes to H28. So we are resizing. So the crosshair for crosshair is to move. This is to resize. So I'm really just kind of coming over here to the right a little bit, maybe down just a smudge, but it is proportionally changing the size of the chart. All right. Now it says click the chart title, and in the formula bar, so I'm going to click here. I don't have to go up to the formula bar. They're just showing you another way. I'm going to type in detailed annual sales, and I'm going to press enter, and it should automatically update in my chart. All right. Next thing we're supposed to learn about is choosing a different chart type. So it says to use the Sales EXP worksheet again. And this time we're going to go to the Design Contextual tab, and we're going to go over here to the Type group. And I'm going to click on Change Chart. And you have recommended and you have all charts. We want to go to Column. And they want us to do a stacked column, just a plain old stacked column, not a 3D stacked or not 100% stacked. So I'm going to click on this here. and I'm going to press OK. And now I have a stacked column, which is almost like the bar chart we've looked at before, except for they're vertical. And I can see that my best year now was 2018 because they're all individually stacked on top of each other, which just gives us another perspective. It just depends on what we're kind of looking for in our data. All right, so I'm going to move the chart. I'm going to right click this time, click move chart. I'm going to put it on a new sheet. That new sheet is going to be called DET sales. And I'm going to press OK. And that's on a new worksheet tab now. All right, now it says create a copy of the DET sales chart worksheet and place it before the sales EXP sheet. So we're going to make a copy of the DET sales worksheet, and they want it to go to before the sales expense worksheet. I'm going to make a copy of it because we're making a copy of. I'm going to press OK. And then they want us to rename this DET2 to DET sales ES, big E, lower s. And then they want us to change the design of the chart. So what they're showing you is that when you have a separate chart, just like an embedded chart, you can still change the chart type. So I'm going to go to design, and I'm going to go to change chart type. And this time they want a clustered column. I'll click on that. And I press OK. So now I have both ways. Now I can compare and contrast between these two. Now I can see the individual categories, and then I can see by year and the total amount of all my sales for the whole year. So it just depends on what my presentation or the point of my presentation is, and what I probably want to have happen. All right. So now we're on the DET sales ES, and ES is for espresso. And it says to click one of the espresso premium coffee columns. Okay. And if we come down here and use our legend, we can see that that is green. And it says on the design tab, click the change chart type button. So I'm going to do that. And it says the chart type dialog box opens to the combo chart. So what it recognizes is that we've already have a chart. I picked one series of data. Are you trying to pull out and emphasize this one column of information and make it separate? Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying. So down here in the bottom left-hand corner, combo is selected. Okay, and once I do that, it shows me all my different series of data here, and I can pick and choose what I want those series to be. A lot of times you'll see for the certification test, you know, column in one line, or you'll see two lines. And again, these are called combo charts. So what we're doing here is we are going to, for our espresso premium coffee, so right here, the second one, press this down arrow, and I'm going to pick line, okay? And it's just a plain old line. And once I select it, you'll see that green is now separate, okay, from the rest. I'm almost showing the trend of the coffee and espresso in a second axis. And we're going to go ahead and press OK. Now, what I could do here is I could make this a secondary axis. And all this is doing here is, see on the right-hand side, I have values that represent this green line. And my left-hand vertical values still represent all my column chart stuff. I'm just going to leave that on so you can see it, because that tends to be something we have to do for the expert exam. So I'm going to press OK. And then it says, edit the chart title to read, wow, look at espresso premium coffee sales. So I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to edit the text, and that's just something else we can do. I can also click in here, select all, and I can type in. So I'm going to do wow in all caps, exclamation point, look at espresso premium coffee sales. I'm going to spell check. I'm going to put an exclamation point here too. I'm going to spell check, press OK. Now it says to click the Format tab, and then in our Insert Shapes, they want us to do the arrow button and click and drag the arrow. So if we hover over, these all have names. So this is arrow, and it says to click the arrow button and drag the arrow from the chart title to the espresso line. Use the shape outline to change the width. And it tells us in the image about where to point this. So that ends up being about from here to here. And now I have a drawing tools contextual tab because I'm selected on my arrow. And I am going to click on that. And they want us to change the weight. And we come over here to our pane on the right-hand side, and we can do that. I'm sorry. Yeah, they want us to change the weight and the color. And I can also come over here to Drawing Tools Format and do the same thing. So here's weight, and they want the weight to be 3. So if I click on that, that'll happen. And I also want it changed to red. So I'm going to click on the shape outline, and I'm going to change that to red. Again, we could do that over here. Look on the pane on the right-hand side. The color is now red and the width is now 3. It's just whatever you're more comfortable with. As long as you have the right thing selected, you should be good to go. All right. So now we are going to look at another element that we can do with charts. So they want us to copy the DET sales chart. So I'm going to right click, move or copy, create a copy, and they want it to be put before the sales EXP. I'm going to press OK. And they want this named DET sales CAT. Press enter. And then with my chart selected, I'm going to go to the Design Contextual tab. And over here in the Change Chart Type, okay, they want us to change this to a clustered column. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to press OK. And it says the horizontal axis shows each year and the categories repeat within each year. You're going to change the chart so each category is a group and each year is shown in a different bar color. And all you have to do that when this is the opposite way is what's called switch row and column, which is on the Design Contextual tab, Data, the command switch row and column, and they switch. So I'm going to do that again. So on here in the legend, I have it by category, and then the year is what's here. Those essentially switch themselves. So now I'm looking at it by category, and then these are the years. All right, so the next thing that we're going to look at quick here is the quick analysis tools. And the quick analysis tools are a quick way to analyze data with some kind of predefined options that are available. And we can do charts, we can do spark lines, we can do totals, we can do conditional formatting, and we can do pivot stuff. So we are still using this document, and we're going to be on Sales EXP here. And they want us to select A2 to F9. Okay, so that's all of our yearly totals for our categories, but not the grand totals. And once you select that, you'll notice down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the quick analysis command. Okay, and the shortcut for that is Control Q. And they would like us to click on that, and you'll see we have formatting, conditional formatting. We could do some chart stuff, totals, which we've looked at before, tables, and spark lines. Okay, so it says to click the charts tab in the gallery, and the options change the lower part of the gallery, and they're talking about right here. And It says to move the mouse pointer over because you'll get the live preview to see based on what you've selected what you will get. Okay. So it says, for example, move the mouse pointer over the stacked area and you'll see the preview showing it there. So they don't want to do charts because we've been spending so much time on charts. They want us to go back to Sparklines. So if I click on Sparklines, it says move the mouse pointer to see the preview for each one of those. Yeah, and they're going to go to the next available column, and they want us to click the line option. And then it says in row 2, okay, which is here, there's a spark line here because it sees the years. And once I click on G2, I can change it. So they want us to try, remember we have the Spark Line Tools Design Contextual tab. They want me to come over here to clear. And you can clear selected Sparkline or you can clear the whole group because remember these are grouped together. So I'm going to clear the selected one because I only want to get rid of what's in G2. And I didn't need a Sparkline there. I just needed this to be the heading. I'm going to type in Sparkline here. And then they want us to change to heading 3. And so this is review. So with G2 selected, I go to the Home tab and I drop down Cells Styles and I'm going to pick heading 3 and it kind of matches. I could format pane as well. I could have clicked on F2, gone to the Home tab, clicked on Format Painter and clicked on G2. All right, now it says to click cell G9, okay, which is my Sparkline, and they want us to grab my fill handle and they want me to come down to G10 so I can fill my Sparklines. I just can't double click fill, which I've talked to you about before. Now it says to select G3 to G10, and they want us to go to the Sparkline Tools Design Contextual tab. And we've gone through this ribbon before and things that you can turn on and turn off. And it says in the show group, we're going to click high point and we're going to click low point because it'll show us the high and the low. And we're going to change the style to Sparkline Style Dark 3. And sometimes the finding of them is the hardest part. Okay, so it is this one right here, Sparkline Style Dark 3. And that's how you quickly, with the quick analysis tool, add Sparklines. Now we're going to try this with totals. So we're going to use the sales worksheet, which is right here. And they want us to select A3 to F7. And we know we can't put them down below because we already have information here. So we know these ones are going to go to the right. And our quick analysis command comes up again. And this time we're going to click on totals. And the blue represents where they would go below, and it won't even let us really do it because of our totals there. It would eliminate them. So we don't really want to do that. We want to come over here to the right-hand side, and we want to pick one of these so it doesn't interrupt the rest of our total. So it says, move to the first icon, and it says sum, which is the blue row highlighted with the icon. You'll see a preview, and it will overwrite what's there, which is what I said. It says now move to the next icon and you'll see row 8 with the preview with the average. And then it says to move, keep moving over, count. It's going to count how many are there, percent of total, and a running total. And then it says to move to the second sum command, which is the orange one, and it changes over to the column. And that goes on the next available column in G. It says click the arrow, and then you can see the rest of these. And it will preview the same again. So this time we're going to click on percent of total. And we get our percent of total in here, which is going to total B3 in this case to F3. And then it's going to total B3 to F7 and then divide to get a percentage of. So we can see where our biggest impact is based on our sales. So it says to click in G3. And notice the formula. Then it says click in G2 and type in the word average. press enter. Then we're going to come back up here to G2, go to the Home tab, go to Styles, Cell Styles, and we're going to pick Heading 3. Again, I'm going to undo that. I could, if I just wanted to, pick F2, Format Painter, and click on it as well, because it should be the same. But if they say to apply Heading 3, you apply Heading 3. All right. Now, we are going to do this again with conditional formatting. So it says to use that Sales Worksheet tab, and we're going to select A3 to F7, use our quick analysis. We're going to go to formatting here, the first one, and it says if you hover over, you'll get the live preview, and you can see and review these ones, and we can get rid of formatting if we wanted to see each one. They want us to pick color scale. Remember, color scale will find the highest. The highest is the darkest green, and then the lowest, which is the darkest red, and all the colors in between. Now, these are just quick, easy ones. If you want to do any of these in more detail, like conditional formatting, you'd come back here to the Home tab. If you were trying to do spark lines, you'd go to Insert. If you were trying to do a better chart, you'd go to Insert and go to Chart. If you were trying to do a table, you would go to the Home tab and go to the Styles group. If you were trying to do more advanced functions, you would go to the Formulas ribbon. It just depends on what you're trying to do. But these are just quick ways, hence the name Quick Analysis, to manipulate and look at your data. Thank you very much. See you next time.